Hello guys, AntoineBn here for Simarchitecture and welcome back to the channel. Today we're finally building the Roman Villa. I've been teasing about it for quite a long time now, I think about 2 weeks, but it was a very long build because first of all it's very large. It's built on 64 by 64 lot in Delta Valley, and also because for a few days now I didn't have much time, so every day I was building one room and another room, and then when I was finished the other day I was doing the screenshots, and for the other day I was doing the editing. So yeah, it was quite a long process, but it's finally here, and yeah, you can discover it by yourself right now in this pit build. So as I said, it is built in Delta Valley because first, this is my favorite lot. The 64 by 64 in Delta Valley is my favorite lot because of the vista, because of the light, and the neighborhood is just beautiful. So yeah, it's always a pleasure to build here. And the villa is inspired by the Getty Villa, which is a famous house built, I think not in Los Angeles, but probably in Santa Monica or Santa Barbara, I don't remember. Anyway, this is a very famous villa, which is now the Getty Museum, one of the most famous museums in the world, with some of the greatest collections of the world. And the main building of this complex is built in a neo-Roman, neo-classical style, which I really enjoyed. So of course the real villa is much bigger and it has lots of different buildings, gardens and so on. So I just focused on the central part of the actual villa. It was very cool to do because it's different from what I usually do. I love this style and I didn't really explore it before, and for that I used Felix Hender's item as always, but also items from the Gym 07, especially for the statues, and some other items that I found on different websites because I needed something that looks a bit more Roman, especially for the floors and the walls. So I will link in the description where I found these items. I think one of them is a Versace pack with some Versace patterns, and the other one is just something inspired by antiquity. So yeah, but altogether those items plus Felix Hender's items, it really matches, and I think you got the atmosphere of a Roman villa or of a interpretation of a Roman villa, because of course this is the vision we have nowadays about it. So this villa consists of, let's say, 3 parts. So there is the central one, which is of course the biggest part of the villa, with this big enclosed garden, with a big fountain, and the 2 other parts are actually located on both sides of the building. We have 2 different courtyards with trees and statues and flowers on the same pattern as the central garden, but smaller, and it's surrounded by 2 buildings on each side, which are in this house a dining room, a bathroom, not a bathroom but a bathing room with several pools. One of them, which I didn't furnish, is the servants area with 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom that your servants can share together. And yes, that's it for those tiny parts. And for the central part, actually it's designed as a house but also as a museum at the same time, I think. When I was building the house, as you know, I like to imagine a story about it, and I was thinking that a rich collector would live here, and that's why he turned his house into a museum where you can leave but also just show his artworks and the statues and paintings about. So that's why most of the rooms are designed as museum rooms, but it's still a house. Also, there is a special feature in this house. There are three, well, more than that, but there are three rooms with inner pools, because in ancient Rome, the bathing habit was something very important in the social life, and it had a very big part in the everyday life. So I thought it would be nice to have those bathing areas. They're quite the same. Actually, two of them are almost identical, and there's another one which is a little bit different because in one room we have 5 little bath or pools, and it's pretty cool, but you will see it a bit later and also in the screenshots in the end of the video. Otherwise, there is also of course, an entrance hall. There is a library, there's dining room, a kitchen, which I didn't record because it's very simple, just counter, sink, stove, and that's it. It's just to make the house playable, but didn't really want to do an actual kitchen. There is a living room. There is upstairs a bedroom. Actually, there is enough space for 4 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, but I decided only to furnish one as an example because the main feature of the house is not the bedrooms, and as I told you, it's not much designed as a real house, so that's why I only did one example. Each of the 2 main bedrooms have a balcony or even a terrace, which is super nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it about all the rooms of the house. For the overall style, I really tried to stick to a ancient Rome style, even if it's an interpretation and it has some modern items or a modern way of designing the rooms and the areas. So of course it's not meant to be 100% accurate as always. So yeah, but anyway, I really wanted to use some very precious stones as marble or very rich floors with many patterns, just to make it a very luxurious house, just like in the ancient Rome where the richest people were building incredibly rich houses. And actually, when you think about it, it's pretty incredible because I did some researches about this, and most of these villas were just absolutely crazy, and it was like more than 2000 years ago. And when you compare this to the Middle Age, you're like, well, there's a problem in the timeline because there was so evolved, so developed, the art and the technical issues were so elaborate. And then in the Middle Age, everything changed and seemed like, the civilization disappeared, or I don't know. It's a very strange feeling that I have. Probably I'm wrong because actually we don't know much about the Middle Age. We have those knights and princesses in mind, but of course it's not the reality. It was probably a much more complex time of history. First because it was very long, almost 1000 years, and also because there were many civilizations, many people, many countries. Everything was changing all the time, and but it's just a thought that I had while building this. It was striking, like, I mean, how were they so I mean, I don't know how to say, but you know what I mean. They were just too clever, so talented in art, architecture, painting, sculpture, everything, and then it all changed, and it looked like Middle Age was a step backward. And anyway, I don't know where this I don't know where it's leading us, but I said it. So yeah, I think I told you pretty much everything about this. Um, I loved it, and I only wish I could have find more Greek or Roman items, because sometimes it was a bit frustrating just to use all the same items, even though I'm very happy with the overall result of this house. Um, but sometimes it's very hard to find some historical custom content. Anyway, what's up? I think you saw on Twitter, for those who are following me on Twitter, or also in the community section of YouTube, I also worked on a very cool project, which is the abandoned Hall of Mirrors in Versailles. So it will come soon. I finished recording it, have to edit the video, so probably it will come next week, because this weekend I have a lot of things to do, including going to Chantilly. So I don't know if you know this city. It's located about 60 kilometers away from Paris in the northern part of France, and there's an absolutely incredible castle, which I wanted to visit for a very long time, and it's finally happening. So I'm going there on Saturday, and on Sunday have to explore some parts of the Versailles estate. So I'm gonna be very busy, and we'll take a lot of great pictures, I hope. But anyway, I will see great places, and I'm super excited. So if you don't know the Chateau de Chantilly, it's how it's called, I really encourage you to get informed about it, because it's an incredible place with, incredible architecture, incredible history, incredible grounds, incredible collections. Everything is just crazy about this place, and I'm so happy to finally see it. And in the end of the month, I'm going to visit another palace located in northern France, which is the Palace of Compiègne, which was a royal residence, an imperial residence, and it's one of the most important and beautiful palaces built in France. But unfortunately, it's not very well known. I don't know why. Probably because it's quite far away from Paris. But yeah, I will also visit it, and I'm super excited, and I'm sure it's going to give me a lot of inspiration for upcoming builds. Now I think it's time for me to leave you. I really hope you will enjoy this build. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe as always. Feel free to tell me what you think about this in the comments. I know that most of the time I'm not responding. Just after the video, sometimes I answer the comments like 1 or 2 weeks after it, because I don't know, I feel like it's a bit overwhelming, and I don't want to focus on the comment right after I release the video. But most of the time I answer, so feel free to say something interesting or not. Depends on you. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye. Bye.